Good morning, students. Welcome all. In our previous video, we have seen the isochrone curve in the diagram of isochrone curve. The explanation of isochrone curve is still pending. So let's start with the isochrone curve explanation. In your book, on the page number 96, there is given explanation of isochrone curve. In our previous video, we have already drawn the isochrone diagram, but to understand more clearly, let's draw the diagram again. So we can understand that very well. So on the OX axis, there is a capital is given. This diagram already have been studied by us, and on OY axis there is a labor employed are given. So now what? Here the 1 unit of labor, 2 unit of labor, 3 unit of labor and 4 unit of labor are employed in any business organization. And sorry, here the capital and here are labor employed are given on OY axis. So our first input combination, that is R is given 1 unit of capital, here the 1, and 8 unit of labor, and here are. So basically we can draw that this line. This is R1 when you can get 100 units of the production. The second input combination we have seen, that is on P point, and the combination is given 2 units of capital here and 5 units of labor. This is the P point where firm also gets 100 unit of the production. After that, the end production is given on 3 units of labor and 3 units of capital. So this is the end point, and after that the last input combination is n given. The input combination is 4 units of labor, it means here, and 2 units of capital. So this is the end point. So this diagram has been studied by us, and when you draw line on R, P, M and N, that line is S1 and that line is known as isochrone curve. Now on the page number 96, there is given in this figure on OX axis there is capital in units, and on OY axis there is labors are given. SS line, SS1 is an isochrone curve. This line is an isochrone curve. On the curve R, P and M points are given. Sorry. On the curve, it means on this line there is a R, P, M and N points are given. On each point of the combination, equal production is achieved. It means when you employ 1 unit of capital and 8 unit of labor, in this point you will get 100 unit of the production. Or you have second also. You have a second choice. If you employ 2 units of the capital and 5 units of the labor, at that time also you will get the same production, that is 100. Thus, it can be said that the curve joining points showing different combination means isochrone curve. It means here your production is same, but the combination is different. Here you employ 1 capital, in this point you have employed 2 capital, in given you have applied for it. So the input combination is different, but the final production is same. So this is called the isoquantum curve. After that, the map of the isoquantum curve, the points on the same isoquantum curve indicates equal production, but isoquantum curve on the right side of the given curve indicates more out. In this you have seen more place, in this you have seen less place. So basically they have said that the points on the same isoquantum curve indicates equal production, but isoquantum curve on the right side of the isoquantum curve indicates more product, more output. On the contrary, the isoquantum curve on the left side of the isoquantum curve indicates less output than the given isoquantum curve. It means when isoquantum, it is the moving of isoquantum curve itself. When isoquantum curve moves upward, or isoquantum curve moves on downward, that will give different combinations. Say for example, here we have draw SS1, that is isoquantum curve. But if this isoquantum curve will move upwards, that will give you more production, and this isoquantum curve, if downward goes downward, at that time that isoquantum curve will give you less output. But this fact can be seen through the figure given ahead in S3. Basically, here only SS1 and SS2 is given. The explanation which is given in this paragraph is basically not shown in the diagram. અહીંયા જે તમને ડાયાગ્રામ આપવામાં આવેલું છે ને એ તમારે મૂવિંગ ઓફ આઇસોકોન્ડ કર્વ છે જે તમને ડાયાગ્રામમાં આપેલું નથી. So that explanation and that diagram is also not given in this book. So we skip that. આપણે અહીંયા આપેલું જ નથી. Basically એ કહેવા શું માંગે છે? They want to say that if this isoquantum curve will move upside, it shows that it gives the more output, more units of the production, and if this isoquantum curve move downward, this shows that that combination will give you the less output. After that, the characteristics of isoquantum curve. The characteristics of isoquantum curve can be presented as following are the characteristics of isoquantum curve. All points on isoquantum curve indicate equal production. It means whatever the point, you can choose any point, and all the point, in each and every point you will get the same production. In the R point, in the P point, M point, and whatever the point is, in all the points you will get the same production. The higher the isoquantum curve, the more output it shows. It means here we don't have another isoquantum curve is given, but when your isoquantum curve is more and more higher, it means when it goes higher and higher, it will give you the more output. Isoquantum curve do not cross each other. This is most important. At the same time, you cannot produce in your business organization 100 units and 110 units. When in your business organization you produce 110 units, your isoquantum curve will move upward, and the isoquantum curve for 100 units is lower than 110 units. So your two isoquantum curve will never intersect with each other. એ ક્યારે પણ જે છે ક્યારે ક્રોસ કરશે નહીં, ક્યારે પણ જે છે આવી રીતે જે છે આઇસોક્રોન કર્વ નહીં કે one isoquantum curve cross another isoquantum curve, that is not possible at all, because any form cannot get two same production in the business organization. Isoquantum curve have negative slope. It is always move from upward to downward. It has negative slope. Isoquantum curves are convex. It means it is outside બહારની તરફ આવેલું હોય છે મીન્સ if this slope is this is called the convex and આવી રીતે તમારે ક્યારે પણ આઇસોકોન કરવા આવતો નથી. Now let's move forward to our next topic, that is isopost curve. On the page number 97 in your economics book, there is isopost curve is given. Basically, what is difference between isopost curve and isopost curve? There is only one difference. When you trying out to understand the isopost curve, in the isopost curve there is only quantity. Keep in your mind. When you try to understand the isopost curve, at that time you just need to understand the post. It means when there is an isopost, there must be a quantity or production is set. And if you are thinking about, if we are speaking about isopost curve, there is a post set. In the isopost curve, there you cannot change the production of the quantity, and in isopost you cannot make any changes on the post. As we have seen, every firm, every business organization has scarcity of resources. No person in this world have unlimited resources, especially unlimited finance available to them. If we talk about the richest person of the world, in them also, he is also not that much rich that he can use all the finance within him. ગમે તે બધું છે, કદાચ આપણે દુનિયાના સૌથી રીચ માણસની વાત કરીએ તો એમની પાસે પણ જે છે અમુક વસ્તુની શોર્ટેજ હોવાની છે. કારણ કે તમારે જાઓ, આપણે જે રીતે જોઈએ કે તમારી ઈચ્છાઓ કરતા કે તમારી પાસે જે છે સ્ત્રોત વધારે હોઈ શકે નહીં. સો એવરી પર્સન, અને માનો કે કોઈ વ્યક્તિ પાસે જે છે હોય પણ ખરા, some person may have lots of resources available to them, but it is not possible to procure each and every resources in the business organization. So basically this is not practical. So on the page number 97, isopost curve, we studied the isopost curve in order to understand the process of equilibrium of a firm. Now let us examine the concept of isopost curve to understand the equilibrium of business organization. We already seen isopost curve in our previous video. Now isopost curve, what is isopost curve? The first is meaning. It can be defined as follows: the curve that indicates the fact that with the given amount to be spent by the producer on the purchase of two inputs of production, which combination of two inputs he can buy. It means when any or business firm has only 100 rupees within him, so from these 100 rupees, how that particular person, how that business producer can buy the 2 units of labor and capital, it will be studied in this theory. There is the curve that indicates the fact that with the given amount to be spent by the producer, this is the amount producer can spend on anything, to be spent by the producer on the purchase of 2 input of the products. Say for example, on capital and labor, if any producer wants to purchase these 2 things, how they spend this amount on that 2 inputs, which combination of 2 inputs he can buy. So how much amount and in which manner he can buy the combination of the two inputs. In other words, the firm or the producer has a certain provision of amount to be spent on the purchase of inputs. As we have seen, when you make budget for a business organization, at that time you always estimate, you always give limitation to expend on any particular thing. In the business organization, nothing can be given more important, or nothing can be given unlimited resources. કોઈ વ્યક્તિને જે છે લેબર અને કેપિટલ, માનો કે એના જે પ્રોડ્યુસર છે, એમના જે મેનેજર છે, the manager of capital and labor both has given some limitation, and both has given some limitation amount to spend on that particular units. So to stay within that limitation, how that particular person can particularly use as much as amount and from that particular amount how can they get maximum benefits of capital. એમને જે છે કોઈ પણ એક અમાઉન્ટ આપી દેવામાં આવ્યું છે, આ અમાઉન્ટ ની અંદર એ કેવી રીતે જે છે ખર્ચ કરે છે જેથી કરીને કેપિટલ અને લેબર આ બંનેનો મેક્સિમમ જે છે ફાયદો મળે. ISO cost curve is that indicates the combination of two inputs that he can purchase with the given amount. It means from the given amount how one particular producer can get maximum benefits. It will be studied in this particular law. Excuse me. Now, assumption. Following assumptions have to be made in regard to ISO cost curve. To understand the ISO cost curve, as we discussed in our earlier video in the economics, almost in all the theory, almost in all the law, you have to make assumption over that particular thing. The first assumption is a firm or producer has rupees 800 rupees to spend on inputs. Here, the producer has 800 units. Now, there is no change in this amount. It means the producer has only 800 rupees. જેની પાસે 800 રૂપિયા છે એ કેપિટલ અને લેબરના ઇન્વેસ્ટ કરવા માટે, એમાં જે છે યુઝ કરવા માટે, the producer cannot increase this amount at all. The second is he buys capital and labor. The per unit price is 10 and rupees 8 respectively. Say for example, if producer have two units, the first is labor and the second is first is capital and the second is labor. The third is here given is he can use the per unit price is rupees 110. Say for example, the price of capital is 10, the price of labor is 8. Thus, it can be said that if he spends all rupees 800 on labor, he can buy 80 units. Say for example, what is the there is on the second point you have to make changes. And જે છે એ લોકોએ સિક્વન્સ ચેન્જ કરી નાખ્યું છે. he buys capital ના બદલે labor કરી નાખો, and labor એ જે labor છે capital સિક્વન્સ ચેન્જ કરી નાખો. એટલે કે આગળ જે છે મેં labor ના પ્રાઇસ ની અંદર capital નો પ્રાઇસ એવું કર્યું છે, બાય મિસ્ટેક પ્રિન્ટિંગ મિસ્ટેક છે, અને capital નો પ્રાઇસ જે છે એમાં labor ના capital જે છે એકબીજાનો પ્રાઇસ એવું કર્યું. So to not confuse, we make some changes in the amount. તમારા સેકન્ડ નંબરનો પોઈન્ટ છે એમાં he buys labor and capital. This is the sequence. Now, thus it can be said that if we spend all 800 on labor ની અંદર જો 800 rupees spend કરે છે, at that time 8 into 100 So he can take maximum 100 units of the labor, or if there is again the is given, ત્યાં the આપેલું છે બુક ની અંદર ઘણી બધી સ્પેલિંગ મિસ્ટેક છે, જ્યારે પણ તમે વાંચો એટલે કદાચ જો કોઈ એક સ્પેલિંગ મિસ્ટેક ધ્યાનમાં આવે તો સુધારી લેજો, બટ મોટાભાગે જે છે અહીંથી જ્યારે કહેવામાં આવે ત્યારે તે કહી દે છે. સેકન્ડ પોઈન્ટમાં જે છે તમને સુધારો કરાયો, he buys labor in capital સિક્વન્સ ચેન્જ છે, અને ત્યારબાદ વળી પાછું જે છે એ લોકોએ આપેલું છે ફર્સ્ટ સેકન્ડ પછી વળી પાછું ફર્સ્ટ આપેલું છે, જ્યારે મસ્ટ બી અને થર્ડ assumption પછી જે છે વળી પાછું ફોર્થ, એટલે એ પણ સુધારી લેજો. ચોથા નંબરના પોઈન્ટની અંદર સૌથી લાસ્ટમાં એવું આપેલું છે if the spends, if the નહીં if he spends, lots of mistakes are in your book, so whenever you get any mistake or you need any correction in any page of the book, you can make it. તમે જે છે તમને લાગે કે એકવાર જે છે કોઈ પાસે કન્ફર્મ કરાવી અથવા તમે કન્ફર્મ હો તો તમે જે છે એમાં કરાવી શકો, કારણ કે કૌટિલ્ય જે છે એટલે એમાં ઘણી બધી મિસ્ટેક્સ જે છે હ્યુમન એરર ઘણી બધી જે છે ઘણી બધી જગ્યાએ કે આપણે કોઈ પણ જે છે પ્રિન્ટિંગ મિસ્ટેક એવું હોઈ શકે છે. If he spent rupees 800 in capital alone, now he wants to spend 800 rupees on the capital. So here 10 into 8 means if he spends rupees 800 in capital alone, he can buy 100 units. So units of labor and 80 units of capital are the final limit of. It means here you can directly see that. So units of labor and 100 units of capital are the final. 100 units, here is 100, here is 80. So he can buy 80 units of the capital and 100 units of the labor. So 80 into 100, it means he can expense 800 and 8 into 100, that is also 800 rupees. So he can finally spend only 800 rupees on the particular thing. He cannot make changes on the amount of particular things is given in your book. Now, the firm's purchase, in fact, the producer buys labor and capital keeping this budget in mind. The opportunities that he has in purchase of inputs can be known by isocost curve. Means this is the point. In this point, it is called the isocost curve. It means he can buy maximum 80 units of the capital and maximum 100 units of the labor. This is called the isocost curve. On the basis of above mentioned assumption in analysis, we can draw the following figure. Let's draw that figure. So, as we have seen, here is unit of capital on OX axis, on OY axis there is labor given. Here, what are the maximum units of the capital? Capital maximum unit is 20, 40, 60 and 80. Here, on the labor there is 10, 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100. So from this explanation we can see that he can use maximum 80 units of the production. So here is the point 80, and he can use maximum 100 units of the labor. So the labor point, and when you draw this line, that is the isocost curve. This is the isocost curve known as CC1. And this is CC1. હવે when producer wants to buy 60 units of the labor and 40 units of the capital, he can maximum buy this amount. In this limitation, he can buy anything, but producer cannot buy anything over this limitation. In the figure given here, CC1 is an isopost curve. In this diagram, CC1 is an isopost curve. It shows that the producer can buy either 80 units of the labor, and there must be a capital. He can maximum buy 80 units of the capital and 100 units of the labor. There is again spelling mistake. He can buy any other combination between these two. So he can buy any combination as per their requirement, as per their wish, but he cannot buy the isopost curve shows which combination of two factors he can buy. What is isopost curve? So isopost curve is just showing you that in this limitation, in this combination, you can buy anything. By not following this limitation, you cannot make any expenses over that. So this must be keep in your mind while you are buying or while you are making expenses on anything. So these are the isopost curve for your examination. Isopost curve and isopost are very much important. So whenever you prepare for your business or for your examination, at that time these two questions always keep in your mind. Thank you.